So what's the foundation of Bitcoin? A lot of people are comparing Bitcoin to the US dollars, those fiat currencies. But I do really think they are not comparable. Okay, so let's just think of what's the foundation of the US dollars? The foundation of US dollars is the US government, the US military. The reason people think the US dollars is valuable is because it's not only just because a lot of people think that's valuable, but also the US government, the largest country in the world, it's backing up its own currencies, the US dollars, right? And also, it tax people in USD. So when you need to pay tax, you need to pay in the US dollars. So that's why people need to own the US dollars. So they say you are like a millionaire, you are a billionaire, you don't want to own dollars at all. So you throw all your access to Bitcoin. But when you really make some profits from Bitcoin, you still need to pay tax. When you do the business, somebody maybe paid you Bitcoin, you may need to pay tax. Maybe now the regulation is not there, but in the future it will definitely be there. So you still need to have the US dollars to pay. And the tax rate is around like 30-40% in the US. So no matter what, you need to convert your profits, 40% of your profits, 30% of your profits to the US dollars. So that's why people still need to own the US dollar. When you need to use US dollars to pay tax, means that you need to buy in US dollars. So US dollars still will have demand, even nobody want to use that for transaction, but you still will have a very strong foundation. So the foundation of the dollars is the US economy. Not to mention, it's the most popular, most dominant currencies in the world. Most people do transactions internationally in dollars. So that's dollars, that's fiat currencies. So what about Bitcoin, those cryptocurrencies? The only reason that Bitcoin is valuable now is because of people think it's valuable. Once there are some people just don't think Bitcoin is valuable, Bitcoin essentially has no value. Let's just have an imaginary experiment. What if there's another cryptocurrencies which is far more efficient than Bitcoin, far more secure than Bitcoin? Then what will happen? People will start switching to that currencies and think Bitcoin is like a kind of a previous generation, and people start ditching Bitcoin, and at that point Bitcoin won't be valuable anymore. So that's the reason that I am not bullish for Bitcoin. So Bitcoin is just like a software. It's just the first, and it's the first generation. Now you already can start seeing a lot of different next generations digital currencies. They are far more superior than Bitcoin. And over time, because of the technological superiority, people will switch into that new currencies. Then Bitcoin will become a ditch. And the only value that Bitcoin actually provide is store of value, right? Like the US dollars, it's just a store of value. So even now, like you say, you want to invest in US dollars, what do you mean? You actually mean that? I don't know what you mean, because the value of currencies is store of value. It just holds a value. So overall, if you subtract inflation, the overall of US dollars return is 0%. Same goes for Bitcoin. I think the Bitcoin will be negative overall over the next 100 years, because you can imagine 5-10 years later, there will be definitely far more superior cryptocurrencies show up. Maybe the next generation, it doesn't even use blockchains and far more secure currencies, and people will start switching to that. And imagine how much value Bitcoin will have. Probably not even 10% of right now's value, right? 10 years later. So that's why I think the long-term return compound growth rate for Bitcoin is minus. As for US dollars, you can just look at the past 200 years. It's just close to zero. So what you actually should do is you should invest in something that will actually generate revenue. For example, owning a company, owning shares of companies. If you own shares of, let's say, shares of Google right now, then what will happen? Google will keep generating revenue for you. If you own shares of Netflix, or you own shares of Facebook, Instagram, they will keep generating revenue for you. Or even like you own shares of Walmart, Amazon, they will continually have employees, have machines to generate a profit for you. So that's what actually an investor is. You put up your resources to create more value for the economy, for the society. That's on average. That's what on average. If you look back for the past 100 years, on average the stock market's profit is around 10%. If you just subtract the inflation, is around 7%, perhaps it's around that number, and the currency is zero, and not to mention cryptocurrencies, it would definitely be minus. All right, so that's my 2 cents on cryptocurrencies and the fiat currencies. If you would like to receive more economic analysis, my thoughts, my analysis in today's markets, don't forget to subscribe. And this is not an investment such advice. Please do your own due diligence before you invest. Other than that, take care and subscribe. I will see you next time.